gardener went outside to water his tomato plants. This is what destroyed his garden. JB is a 43-year-old gardener with a serious problem. He notices that his tomato plants actually are suffering from some type of debilitating disease that he had never seen before. When he goes out and takes a look at his tomato plants, he actually notices some type of a really soft, watery, blotchy spots appearing on his leaves. And he actually looks at his stems and he notices that his stems are starting to form some type of nasty, type of watery, moldy type of symptoms that he has not seen before. Scratching his head, he begins to wonder, what is happening to my tomato plants? He tries looking through the books and everything. He surfs the internet, surfs the web to actually understand what is this thing that's killing his tomato plants. And worst of all, his fruit are also infected with this pathogenic disease that he has no idea where it came from or how it even got there. While on the internet searching for answers, he actually comes across a type of word that he's never heard of, a word called blight. Armed with this new knowledge and everything, he actually started to do some more research to actually find out what this blight is and how did it affect his tomato plants and why his plants are dying so quickly. As he studied the pictures he found online, he began to notice that the pictures that he sees online actually matches what he sees on his tomato plants. The watery, blotchy spots, the infected tomato fruit itself having the same spots and everything as well, but also this disease is spreading very quickly, and it's happening during the cooler part of the day, when the temperatures are between 50 and 70 degrees. So this kind of gives him some clues about what he's dealing with and possibility of what it may be. Finally, the devastating news comes upon his mind when he discovered that his tomatoes are infected with the pathogen called late blight, Phytophthora infestis. He also discovers that this late blight is actually responsible for the devastating 1840s Irish potato famine, which actually cost the lives of many people. So now he realizes that his plants is infected with late blight. And then he begins to wonder, well, how in the world did his plants get infected with late blight in the first place? Doing some more research, he realizes that late blight has the ability to overwinter in the soil itself. And when he went out to water his soil, he did not realize that he was watering directly towards the ground. And the pressure of that sprayer caused water to actually splash up from the dirt itself up onto the leaves of his tomato plants. This right here allowed the late blight infestation to actually get into the leaves of his plants and begin to infect his plants, killing the cells in his plants as well, preventing the transportation of water and nutrients, thereby starving his plants of the nutrients that they needed, and they started to quickly die. Upon realizing what he had discovered, JB had no choice but to pull up all of his plants and do what was called crop rotation. A few years ago, he went to his local Home Depot store and bought a couple of Better Boy tomato plants, not realizing that this late blight infestation can actually be transported through seeds, it can overwinter in soils, and it can be transported on transplants itself. When he transplanted his Better Boy tomato into the soil, literally he realized that he actually transplanted the late blight infestation into the soil itself. Over time, it took over in his soil, and when he watered his tomatoes, that right there caused it to happen. So how was he able to prevent late blight in the first place? Well, one of the things that he should have done was that he should have did proper husbandry on his tomatoes. He should have clipped off all the lower leaves that are closest to the ground on his tomato plants. And when he watered his tomato plants, he should not have watered it directly towards the ground where the mud and everything was able to splash up into the bottom of his leaves of his plants. Not to mention, he should also make sure that there are plenty of air circulation around his tomato plants to prevent late blight from being able to take hold of his tomatoes. Realizing what had happened, JB decided that he was not going to plant his tomatoes in the same spot again, but instead he decided that he was going to grow his tomatoes with hydroponics indoors instead. If you'd like for me to cover more videos concerning tomato diseases and how to prevent them, please leave them in the comment section below. I'm John Jr. This is the Emerald Thumb. Take care of yourselves. God bless. Bye-bye.